Hello students, Mrs. Rouse here. We're starting a new project today, and it's called the Life of Jesus, Elements and Principles of Design project, because we have, like I said, a couple things going on. We're working with specific elements of design. Also, we're going to try and tell the story of Jesus. If you see, I've attached both on the page for today, and I'll have it there every day. And also on the actual bulletin board, you can go directly to the link for this project, this piece of paper. And there's some information, very brief, about each of the 6 squares. There's some information here about the project. And then there's another, just a little bit of a longer explanation of each of the squares here on the second page. So as we get started, I want to quickly go through a couple things about the project. Even though I did it this way, so you could be thinking about what you might want to show. I have some ideas for the life of Jesus here, prophecy about Jesus, or the angel visiting Mary, a scene centered around the birth of Jesus, Jesus receiving the Holy Spirit or being baptized by John, Jesus healing the sick or raising someone from the dead or performing other kind of, I guess you could say, personal miracles. And here we have Jesus speaking in stories and parables and so on. So Jesus is preaching. And here we have Jesus's death on the things either going up to his death or his death on the cross. So some of the important events of Jesus's birth, and then you have a lot of personal choices in here. What I'm going to do, I'm not quite done. I have the 2 ready for today, but I'll have some suggested scripture you can look up. But there's so much more of just some things that I guess appealed to me or I thought you might like to look up. Follow the format closely. It says don't go ahead, even though you can see what's here. Don't go ahead on the format because I want to talk about the design every day, but you'll at least have a good idea what's coming. It says, please don't copy images. You're going to see today I have some images I'm looking at, but I'm not going to directly copy them. This is really important. You do want to get credit for all your effort. So use them as a reference, don't copy. Feel free to do extra drawing on scratch paper. This is important to help you get going rather than using the board. And then once you've drawn your idea, then use colored pencil techniques to get it going. You can include a black marker outline if you want. A lot of students like to do that. If you can pull it off without that, even better. But it won't hurt your grade. You are allowed to this time. It kind of goes with the project a little bit. Each side of the box should look finished and nice. Maybe use the background. If you feel like you can't tell your story, maybe let the background help give some clues. If you show a figure, I don't want straight up stick figures, but you can stylize them if you think of like a cookie cutter shape even, something, but not just a line. And then use of any words is not allowed on this project. It says down here each box is worth 25 points when I'm grading this. If there's one that has a really low effort or one's not done, out of 150 points, obviously you'd lose 25 points there. But I do know you will just naturally put a little more effort into some more than others, and that would be normal. I wrote something in here, and it looks like it didn't make this version that I printed out. But I wrote down in the, I'm looking at my computer right now, when I wrote up the assignment, that if it's overwhelming, if it's, here we go, too much, that I do know, how weird it didn't print, that you can have some of them, where is it? It says some will take more time than others. My idea, you're going to see some samples in a second. I would say keep the drawings a little bit simple and then spend your time coloring them, and that's going to make it not quite so scary. Yeah, there's a paragraph on here. I just printed out another one. Okay, so to get started, you need your colored pencils. You need a pencil to draw with. I prefer the 2B. If you prefer the 2H, that's fine. Couple erasers. So I got my colored pencils ready to go off to the side. We're going to start in this square, which is asymmetry. And so as far as what is asymmetry, asymmetry is something that's balanced, but it's not evenly balanced. It's more dominant on one side. So I have a couple samples to show you. For instance, this is a large poster you'd see if you were in class. Asymmetrical balance means one side's bigger or heavier, but somehow it sits there evenly on the paper. So lots of dominance here, but the figure kind of running is making it seem as if it still looks good. Here we have a cup falling out of the sack, and then it's, you can see it's heavier kind of up here, but still with the action and the placement and the grid here, it seems to be balanced there. This one's actually pretty cool. Asymmetric, lots of details and stuff, but it's kind of like the toes of the boots are the center of interest, so it kind of holds its own over here. So that's nicely balanced. Here's a great big lion and a smaller lamb. It's not an even balance, but still sits there nicely balanced. So those are some examples of asymmetrical balance. Here's another. It's not always one big, one small. It just means uneven. Here's a nice one someone did with Jesus and the lamb, Jesus the shepherd. Here's one somebody did showing Noah and the ark, so it's much stronger over here. Here's a dream of Joseph, and he's having the dream, but you see how it's not even there. Here's Jesus preaching. See how much more dominant here, less dominant there. Noah and the ark, you can see much stronger up here than over here. Here's a burning offering, much stronger here, but isn't this more interesting than right in the middle? So, and here's one, a scene from Egypt, much stronger over here on the left side. So we're looking for some type of setup that's not in the middle, that's more favored off to the side. I'm going to leave this one here while I'm drawing just to remind you what asymmetrical balance is. So we're going to try and leave our drawings, our board nice and clean. You can see yours would not have numbers written on it, or if it does, go ahead and get rid of them. Now what I'm doing is here it says our theme is a prophecy about Jesus or the angel visiting Mary. I've decided to show the angel visiting Mary. So what I'm going to do is I looked up a couple references. You can see what I've gotten here of just some things that, well, first of all, it's hard to print. A lot of things are protected, but it's kind of nice that Christian organizations seem to let you see their images more. Or you could just be looking at them off the screen. I'm not going to copy anything exactly. There's a couple of things I kind of liked. I was thinking there's one part where it says that Mary treasured these things in her heart. So I thought I would show Mary. I'm looking at it. Here's a couple quick sketches I made. I thought I would show, and you can hardly see them. I thought I would show Mary with her hands on her chest like she's treasuring, and over here kind of in the corner of her room in the dark, and then having the angel be really bright here. And that's how, and then I can set it up, see him way over here on the third symmetrically. Instead of, asymmetrically instead of symmetrically. So that's the idea for my drawing. I can look at these, but it has to be original for me. So I'm just going to start it out. So I haven't drawn this yet, and you're watching this live. Pretty exciting. I hope it's not terrible. And so here's, I like to draw my shapes kind of simple, whatever my idea is. So Mary's kind of holding her chest there. She's if she's leaning on the wall, that means her feet are kind of coming out a little bit like this, and then she has her face, I think her eyes would be down. She has her covering on, and so maybe something kind of like this for Mary. And then for the angel, I wanted like a larger figure. And so let's say my angel is, not quite sure what my angel looks like, but let's say he's not quite standing. And a lot of the photos, it shows the angel with one hand lifting up and one hand down towards Mary, which is kind of a nice gesture, like being sent by God, but also trying to speak with her. And that I loved. So that's one thing I'm kind of borrowing from the samples. So he's talking to her, and he's got a hand reaching up to God as well. And then he's kind of got some kind of a robe on that's, I don't want him to look like a ghost either, so maybe I'll have a foot kind of coming down here. Like one foot's down and one foot's up a little bit. And then, of course, we need some angel wings. I'm not actually looking right now at the wings. I just want to have, let me see, done it myself. So here's my drawing, my initial drawing. So this is kind of what I'm up to as far as what is my picture going to look like. Does it look a little bit like some of these samples? A little bit it does, but I get to stylize it my way. I'm not copying, I'm letting them help reference to me. And so here's this idea that one hand down, one hand up, but I've changed it a little bit. So like I said, from this point on, I really don't need to see my samples. I'm going to just kind of work on my drawing a little bit, and then I can start adding some color. So let's see, Mary's face. Now remember, she's young. I'm going to have her eyes down, like I said. And then this kind of a thing. Oh, she looks mad all of a sudden. And then her head covered. And then I think she would have something like this, her arms down and her hand up here, treasuring it in her heart, like I said, was my idea for Mary. And then I think one foot kind of down, one foot kind of towards the angel, like she's listening, but she's definitely grounded here. So here's kind of my Mary idea. My angel is looking at Mary. You know, what is the angel? An angel has a really big head. What does the angel look like? I haven't decided yet. I see an angel as being more male, but I also love angels with long hair. So we'll see how this goes. And then not being married, being male. And then some kind of a thing here with some droopy stuff. I'm kind of going with my initial thoughts. Some of my initial thoughts. He has a, maybe has a hanging sleeves kind of. That would be kind of cool. Like a 60s sleeve, so you can kind of see the gesture of the arms. And then wings kind of, as long as my wings are doing the same thing, you can use the wings to help your composition. And then I have the room here, and I'm going to kind of have really bright color there. And so I'm going to break the floor right here and kind of have some of the floor show, and some of it's just going to glow. So asymmetry, the angel's more dominant. So in the case of this one, I think I will go ahead and outline it with a marker. And then actually, my marker's over here. And then all I have to do at this point on is color it once I've outlined it, maybe color it in. But this is along with the theme, the project. This is, so I'm going to have, here we go. Have her eyes a little bit lower. She's a little too happy. That's okay. So I have her have a little bit of a longer sleeve, but not so much like the angel. And then I'm going to have her other hand here. Another longer sleeve hanging down here. Maybe I'll have her sash hanging down for her. I don't know if she wears a sash. So here's my Mary. And then here's my angel. I haven't decided what does my angel look like. So maybe if it's a man, I want to have bigger eyebrows. And then curly hair. And some type of tunicky thing wearing. It doesn't really look like an angel. It looks like a strange man right now. And kind of reaching out with his hand open as if it's a gift to Mary. And then this hanging down here. Okay. And anyway, you're getting the idea. Right now we're 15 minutes into the video. So I'm going to probably should stop it pretty soon, because when these videos get really long, then you guys are having a hard time with them. So I want the kind of 1 foot down and 1 foot that's not down yet. Maybe I'll finish the, so it doesn't have to be ridiculously detailed. In fact, those of you who are maybe uncomfortable drawing images of people, and I would certainly understand that, definitely stylize them, make the figures kind of simple. Once you've decided what they look like, then just keep that kind of simple figures thing going. And then here I'm going to put the corner of the room. And then I'm going to, what I'm going to do next is I'll erase out all the pencil marks and then I'll color it in. I didn't put a halo on the angel because I don't know if I'm into halos, but see, once the ink dries, you can erase right over the top of it. Now I just have to color it. I'm going to write down, because I talked to you for 5 minutes first, I'm going to write down 11 minutes for the drawing. I probably draw faster than you do, and then I'll write down how long it takes me to color it, so you'll know how much time I spent on it. And I'll show it to you at the beginning of the next video. Okay, so that's how we're going to set up our asymmetrical, our very first square. And like I said, you have some room in here what you're actually going to show in that first square. Thank you.